January 24, 2016, and we want to know, is Scarecrow ready to tackle his true antagonists, those filthy hobbitses?
Is this Mr. Bloom story just leading up to the in-continuity introduction of Seal?
Baby, I compare you to a kiss from DCR right now.
We rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny, and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's
Distress Citizens Radio.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the DCR musicals episode already.
That's what everyone needs. You know?
That's what you want.
It's sweeps week. We've got.
You started off and you're like, oh, okay, I'll listen to this comic podcast. Oh, dear God, they're screaming Seal at me. I, of course, remain your host, Sean Lamont, comic book reader extraordinaire, joined, as always, by my cohort in crime, Mr. Brian Glein. How are we doing today, sir?
Both crazy and cool, Sean.
Are you about to have a fight with the Sharks? Or
Maybe.
Or the Jets? You just did a pirouette and we're snapping. I don't know what's happening.
Jazz hands.
Oh, God. That's like a weapon of mass destruction in the streets of Brooklyn right there. You don't want jazz hands. People die to jazz hands.
Oh, man, jazz hands and zip guns. What are we going to do?
But as always, Brian, why don't you tell the folks what we're going to be actually doing here other than talking about musicals that maybe half of our audience know about?
We are going to be spoiling all of the comic books that came out the week of January 20th, 2016.
That's right, folks. This week. Very week. We're doing the Operation Catch-Up. We jumped into our DeLoreans and flew around all over the place. While the car was flying around all over the place, we read like 2 months of books. So it was mostly reading, but the DeLorean I thought was a nice touch for us to really get that whole jumping into the future thing. So, fair warning to you guys that we will be spoiling
Used
things.
up so much plutonium.
So much. Those, Libyans are really ticked off.
Not happy with us at all,
Not happy at all. But since we are coming present, fair warning, you could actually be spoiled in this episode, and we could be to blame. So that's why we're making sure you guys understand we're coming to present here. So
read your books this week.
Yep. If you have not read them, you will be spoiled. That being said, we do have some long things because, i.e., I have the weekly book. So I have 9 weeks of books for just one title.
Whoops.
Whoops. Didn't think that one through now, did I? But I just do it once and then I'm caught up from there.
Exactly.
It's
like a Band-Aid.
Yep, just gotta rip it off. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and rip it off into this week's books.
All right, and I'm apparently starting us off with Superman Wonder Woman number 25.
Superman hasn't really been at the head of the show very much recently, and I think
especially not Superman Wonder Woman.
No, but I thought a bunch of the books were doing pretty good as far as their storytelling. So I was like, you know what? It's your time in the sun. You are a sun god. Get up in the sun there, Kal-El. Do some stuff. And let's start with his wonderful relationship.
Yeah,
with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, so, well, previously on Superman Wonder Woman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Parasite teamed up to defeat Angelo Savage, and Superman was kind of a dick to Parasite. There's no way around it. He was kind of awful to him. He made a promise, and he totally went back on it. Vandal Savage killed his son for failing, and also for wanting to the fact that he's got patricide all over the place.
It is Vandal
Savage. To kill
Savage.
Savage.
He can't leave all of his kids alive because otherwise we'd have a world pop. We'd have like Savagevania over there.
Savage planet.
It's just so savage.
Yep. So, but that we'll continue with that when we get to Savage War in the coming weeks.
Wait, are you serious? There's a Savage War coming up?
I think that's what it was. No, Savage Dawn, is that what it was called?
Oh, okay, gotcha. The coming up storyline.
Yeah,
gotcha.
There's already a few bits and pieces out there, but not many. There was also an annual. There was a Superman Wonder Woman annual that showed the full timeline of Clark and Diana's relationship, and like through like little bits and snippets and stuff. And the main thing is that Clark almost proposed to her, but he called it off, which was bittersweet and everything. But it also featured a double date with Aquaman and Mera, where the guys and girls split off because Arthur had to talk about his past adventures. All I need.
So close.
So close.
Not one.
Yeah,
but they didn't just sneak off and fight crime together real quick while the girls were actually solving all of the problems of their various kingdoms and whatnot.
Solving actual problems and
hey, I'm the queen of this island called Themyscira. Really? I'm actually the queen of Atlantis. We should actually figure out some sort of fiscal policies, maybe a trade route that we can negotiate. And
while watching these glorious dolphins.
Yeah, meanwhile, the guys are doing shots and punching people in the face around the corner.
Ha! Luke, get over here.
We're great kings, aren't we?
Yep. All right. So in the current issue, Superman is just dying in Wonder Woman's arms tonight. It might have been something you said.
Might have been.
You specifically, Sean.
Me? What did I say?
I don't know, but Superman is not looking good.
Oh, jeez.
This might be fallout from Savage Dawn. I don't know. So she takes him to the Olympic the Olympic.
The Olympic?
I know
just
how,
mushing them together?
I know how
words
work.
Is this like a Benefer thing? We're just mushing it all together?
Yeah. So she takes him to the Olympic Pantheon, also known as her awesome supporting cast.
Yes.
And they put him through a test to see if he is worthy to heal. So we go through, Hell creates some sort of mindscape for him to go and get tested by everyone. So, Moon takes him hunting, and,
Is it just them sitting up in a tree, like in a tree stand? And Superman man, it's kind of cold up here.
It's boring.
Shut up. You're scaring off all the deer.
Why is it called a high hide? Because we're high and we're hiding, Superman. Oh, my God.
Why did I agree to take Diana's stupid boyfriend hunting?
You're from the country, man.
Was there an awkward dinner afterwards where he just said something totally inappropriate, about the Greek pantheon, and then everyone just kind of coughed uncomfortably?
No. They're saving that for the eventual Damien Emiko double date with Clark and Ali supervising. That's just going to be 22 pages of silverware clinking.
Damiko.
We'll write that one way or another. And Mercy makes him take the Game of Thrones shame walk through his entire life, where everyone knows he's Clark Kent. Shame! You made a gigantic spaceship crash into the Daily Planet. Shame!
Why do you need this giant lady behind me to ring a bell every 2 minutes?
It just comes with it came with the set.
The shame package. Sorry.
Yeah. I bought my shame package. This lady just came with it. There's a fun story. There's a fun little interaction with Eros, who didn't get much play back in Wonder Woman.
Does he still have his awesome Italian scarf and everything?
Yes, he does. He's got his scarf. He's got his
pistols.
He's got his
total Euro trash.
He's got his love guns. Yeah. And he takes him on a tour of his statue garden of Wonder Woman and Superman's most intimate moments. And Clark's just this is kind of creepy, dude. It's hey man, you made this yourself. I'm just the god of love. I've got to deal with it.
Does he just wink and do finger guns at him? Bang bang.
Maybe making some other motions with his hands. I don't know. So
he's showing you the bullet comes out of the gun barrel. That's what he's trying to show him.
Yep. So yeah, basically so guess what? Superman's worthy enough, and they bring him to life. And there's even this hilarious, it's hey, here you go. Here's your stupid mortal boyfriend. He's mortal again. Way to go, Wonder Woman.
Good choice. Good choice. So this is kind of a Greek pantheon, guess who's coming to dinner type thing?
Yep. Yeah, this is Tomasi doing awesome continuity work, and Doug Mahnke drawing all of our favorite Azzarello Chang characters gorgeously.
Yeah.
It's everything I could ask for in a comic, pretty much.
See, that's why I said that.
It's fun seeing a different take on these characters, because Chang was so stylized and how he.
I
does
really
things.
like those designs, though.
Yeah, but seeing
like
Mahnke do them, it's so gorgeous.
Yeah,
my God.
Yeah. But I'm amazed at how attached I've become to those characters from one run. Mm-hmm. I have no real, other than my childhood, I was all into the Greek mythology stuff and all those, dead gods. Big fan of dead gods.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Love them. But
your dead god posters all over your wall.
Just dead god posters. I'm yeah. But no, for me to just be so attached to these characters.
Went to college, you put your Dionysus poster up on the wall.
I did. Wish I could remember his name from the Pratchett books. The the twin brother of Dionysus that the god of hangovers that suffered all of the hangovers from Dionysus's drinking and partying.
Oh man.
And would always try to convince his brother to not party tonight. He's like, got a wine, buddy, sorry. Really good. But I have Wonder Woman number 48. I'm so happy to hear Superman Wonder Woman was a fun time for you because I thought you would enjoy that one. Mm-hmm. I thought you would. So Wonder Woman has been having some I guess direction issues because, that whole thing where she was made the god of war after Ares died and then she became queen of the Amazons and then the Amazons killed all the Manazons, all the male Amazons that were brought over. So she's kind of having a little bit of an identity crisis, especially now that Ares is back to life and she, after having a one-shot adventure where back on Themyscira, she has to stop Cheetah from stealing the Amazon's source of immortality, this giant gem thingamabobberoo. She also learns that the leader of the Manazons is alive and hiding on Themyscira. Like, holy shit, these ladies be crazy. I am not going anywhere where they can find me. So he's like off in the jungles, missing an arm. Welcome to the DCU, sir. What can I say? Just welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
That's part of the DCU package. Shame package, you get to the lady with the bell. DCU package, you lose an arm.
Lady with a bell.
Be happy.
Lost arm, a sharp object you can put near your eye.
He already has an eye patch.
Oh, well then. He's a twofer.
No eye, no arm. He is fully at home in the DCU right now. But he is a little irate, shall we say, that maybe Diana said, hey, you and the Manazons come help us fight the Firstborn and then we'll give you a home where you can live. And then she kind of flew off to have adventures, leaving McPenishader, as you call her, to kill every man on the island and lop off his arm. And he's kind of irate with her, and I'm sure that plot point will come back around at some point. Because after he tells her this, she goes, okay, I'm sorry, little busy now, I'll find you later, and leaves after he just got done complaining that she abandoned him on the island to a bunch of bloodthirsty women. And he's like just standing there, I would say with his arms up, but it's just one, like, I assume Diana thinks he's waving because he just has the one arm up.
Hey, I see you over there.
No, I'm throwing my arms up in frustration. I just lost one. God damn you, Diana. But now we're into the real stuff, Brian, because in this issue, she finds herself facing off against her most deadly foe, a woman by the name of Dr. Poison. Is this a character?
It sounds like it was
a name like Dr. Poison.
The name like Dr. Poison is probably
that
existed
sounds
before.
Pretty old school. Mm-hmm. But she's a Russian national who's plotting revenge against the U.S. government for trying to draft her parents because they were toxin scientists, and they were like, "Hey, you should come work for the U.S. government, leave Russia, defect, and we'll like put you up, and you can make toxins for us." And they said no, but the Russian government found out they were talking to the U.S. and had them killed. And now their daughter is like, ooh, U.S. government, if you would have just left us alone, we could have had a nice Poison family Thanksgiving, I guess? I don't know, whatever. So now she has decided she's going to get her revenge by poisoning Obama when he shows up to the G8 summit in London. And she's using stealth drones to try to get the poison up close to him and everything like that.
Telos better not be there.
I know. He hates those drones. But Wonder Woman's is on the scene and trying to stop this from happening, thinking to herself that tensions are already pretty high between the West and Russia. I think if they killed the president, it could get worse. She ends up stopping the drones and the FBI or CIA, Secret Service, whoever. She yells at them to cover up the bomb before it can release all the poison, so they throw a coat over it, and then they're like, okay, situation under control. This poison is contained. Yay, Secret Service. That coat will save you from whatever neurotoxin is within there. And as she captures Dr. Poison, we even see later that she is able to escape using a fake tooth and bites down and releases poison and escapes from the police. But there are bigger problems, Brian. Bigger problems than Dr. Poison, because during the little Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, they forgot to re-baby-proof Mount Olympus.
Oh, no.
And poor Zola is running into Hera's room in the middle of the night, who's waking up like, I'm up. What do you want? Why this screaming? Goddamn mortals. What's happening? And poor Zola is carrying in screaming that something is wrong with baby Zeke. And as we see, she's holding Zeke in her arms, who is a very disconcerting shade of blue. Uh-oh. Not good. And that was sad. I was like, no, not these characters. They can't have bad things happen to them.
I know, right?
They're supposed to be the fun side characters. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. So we get them popping up all over the place. And as we saw before in Wonder Woman, where she was all frazzled because of the teleporting toddler, and now it's a, what's her name? Hera. Up there trying to get some sleep and still can't, all because of that pesky baby. That pesky toddler, man.
That's babies.
That's babies. Them be the babies. Amusing. A lot of shorter stories, after coming up the 6-issue arcs. So it's nice to get a couple one-shots in there of just quick hitter stories, get a couple new faces in there, and then kind of veer us back towards the storylines with the, larger implications. I enjoy it. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I still enjoy this one.
All right.
Next up.
Very good. Titans Hunt number 4. Previously on Titans Hunt, Donna Troy, that was Donna Troy, and Aqualad just showed up on a beach where Grayson was and started fighting each other.
Was he just like picking up women on the beach? Like, hey, finger guns. Eros showed me this trick.
Yep. I'm just gonna set down this cooler with some Atlantean lungs in the water. I'm gonna pick up some babes. This cooler full of Atlantean lungs is my wingman. Yeah. It hasn't failed me before.
Hey, Atlantean lungs, what do you think of 12 o'clock? Float.
Gnark, which apparently is pronounced narc, but I'm going to keep saying Gnark. He hunted Arsenal out of prison with hunting.
Okay. I forgot. Yes, hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Hunting.
Yeah, Cave Boy.
Is Moon there? Complaining about how Superman is a horrible hunting partner?
Nope. But I guess Cave Boy, he's going to be the hunting guy from here on out.
Okay.
Which makes sense, to be perfectly fair.
I mean, do people really hunt in caves?
Well, he was a hunter, not a gatherer.
Okay, fair enough, enough.
He's a modern caveman for some reason.
Is he selling car insurance?
I don't know if he'd be selling car insurance.
Okay. Is he selling insurance of any kind? Just need to make sure he's not one of those Geico cavemen
we're
dealing with here.
Oh, man, that's so old I completely forgot about that. I think he's that annoying guy that keeps telling you to not cook your food. It's like, no, it's much healthier. This is how I did it back when look how ripped I am.
This is a paleo diet, man. Come on, get on board.
Nom paleo.
Now do 10 reps.
Yep. Let's see. A creepy shadow guy is forcing Lilith to bring the Titans together. Hornblower accidentally set off an MP3 file.
Oh, jeez. All right.
That made him, it like knocked him out. It like he started bleeding from the head and it knocked him out.
Secret origins. Well, I hit the wrong file and my head started bleeding and now I have powers.
Yeah. And it signaled all the disparate missing Titans, including Hawk and Dove.
Although, were they ever Titans in the past?
Well, we will get to that, actually.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so we have a flashback sequence of the dream that all these supposed former Titans are having, with all the characters back in their classic costumes, or hippie dresses in the case of Lilith.
Okay.
Which still makes more sense than Jean Grey's 90s costume. So if you're talking like old telepath costumes, she's still ahead of that.
Okay, fair enough.
So they're stuck in the rain, and something bad's about to happen. Donna Troy's there somehow, despite having just been born in Wonder Woman. And like Hawk is there, I guess like the old Hawk and Dove.
Okay.
Like the Hawk and Dove we saw in the previous issue.
And his brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the last issue we saw like Hawk noticed the hornblower sound. And the like British dove that's been in the current continuity.
I'm a dove.
Hello. She doesn't notice anything, and he's like, "Don't you hear that?" She's like, "No, you're crazy." Oi, what? Oi.
Oi, what? Oi.
Yeah. So they're all getting ready for something when suddenly, blah. So back in the present day, Garth, Donna, and Dick have discovered an old Titans honeycomb hideout in a place called Hatton Corners.
Okay.
Which apparently is like the original Titans headquarters or something.
It's pretty high profile right there.
Yeah.
Hatton Corners.
Mm-hmm. So Hornblower got taken to the hospital because he heard the bwah, but his pregnant wife Bumblebee comes to check on him, and he's not there anymore. He stole an ambulance and drove out into the woods where he meets the shadowy figure.
Was he laying on the horn the entire time? Just honk, honk, honk. Sorry, guys, Hornblower. I gotta do this.
Yeah, that's what I do. And that
it's 3 a.m. Stop it.
Yes, and that secret villain is Mr. Twister.
No, wait, whoa. Mr. Twister? No, stop.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Who is this character?
Well, if we're going to keep the musical episode, apparently he's going to twist again like he did last summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or is he going to twist and shout?
He is... No, actually. Ferris Bueller stole the rights to that.
Okay, fair enough.
He is an old man in like a floppy country hat with a magical shaman stick with feathers and a turtle shell hanging off of it, and by shaking it, he can summon tornadoes.
Okay, so kind of a Poe man's weather wizard.
Yeah, pretty much. He apparently has a lot to do with classic Titans history. I have never heard of him before. Apparently he was instrumental in them getting the tower.
Okay.
On a separate island or something. I don't know.
Did he use his whirlwinds to make a tower? Because that's actually much more efficient than just I make tornadoes.
No, Flash made the tower apparently, but I think somehow he managed to make the island go off into the middle of the water with his tornadoes.
Gotcha.
The best thing about him being an old farmer with a magic Native American stick is that when the stick runs out of power, he can't use the power again until he takes a bath.
Okay.
It's a bath of a special potion, but hey, old man can summon tornadoes until he can't anymore. Then he has to take a bath.
Lead to some awkward battles in the middle of the streets, though, when they take him to his limit, and all of a sudden he just starts taking his clothes off. They're like, "Whoa, old man junk, what are you doing?"
Thank you for letting me make broad generalizations, Wikipedia. So Gnark and Arsenal continue on, and Gnark seems to be the only lucid one in regards to the dream, but he's being all vague about everything, talking about hunting as he does. And he even points out that Arsenal turned to drinking and drugs because of what happened that night in the woods, and one of his crappy tattoos is even the symbol of the hunt.
Oh.
So trying to justify some of the odd choices from the beginning of the New 52.
Fair enough.
And at the very end of the issue, Grayson gets into his Nightwing costume.
Wait, what?
Boo! Because he thinks that's what the bad guy wants him to do.
Well, no. Is there at least a Schumacher getting dressed scene with a close-up of the...
No. He's just he's like, hey, this is about stuff from our past. I've got something in my motorcycle I need to get. Garth, Donna, keep yelling at each other as you have been for the past 2 issues straight.
And you,
I'm going to go get something.
You just keep being you.
Keep being you, Atlantean Lung. Man, Atlantean Lung's so cool. And he's like, say, guess what? This old man in a bath needs to see me in my Nightwing costume.
That is a good use of the sound right there, because that is a lot of red flags being put up right there. There's some memory that I've suppressed, and it has to do with this old man in a bathtub.
We can't use Dr. Light anymore, but there's this old man that needs to take baths. So,
Duh. So Titans Hunt, huh?
Titans Hunt, man.
Titans Hunt.
It's actually... I can see how, if you're a continuity fiend, this would totally be for you.
Yeah, are they really tying up loose strands and everything?
It's almost like they're trying to... Did you say that the actual Titans book got canceled? Like the Teen Titans?
I don't think so. I can't remember if it was on the bubble, or if they were just going to do a creative shift or relaunch it under a new Teen Titans Now.
Okay, because
or something.
I could see this almost seems like, hey, we're going to retcon some stuff so we can maybe get to a Titans that more people are thrilled about.
Gotcha.
So
okay,
I can see that is doing an able job. Dan Abnett is certainly not a bad writer.
I'm
just having fun with it because the continuity means nothing to me.
I still, other than this one, have not read any of his comics, other than the Convergence one he did and this particular title. Yeah, only read his books from the Warhammer stuff.
I read a lot of the cosmic stuff that Marvel was doing.
I heard it's really good. I heard Abnett Lanning were kind of the trailblazers when it comes to the cosmic stuff.
Yeah, when everyone was losing their crap over Civil War, I'm like, how come you're not reading this Annihilation stuff? It's way better.
Yeah.
But, you know.
That's how it works.
Yep.
That's how it works.
That seems to be our show in a nutshell.
So let's go to something that I think completely encapsulates that. Martian Manhunter. A book that even we, as optimistic as I am, we're just kind of like, do we really need a Martian Manhunter book? And Brian was much more vocal in his thoughts on that matter, but turns out to be really, really good.
Oh yeah.
And people are still in the mindset of, why would we want to read that? It's Martian Manhunter. That would be pretty boring. And it's not. It's not whatsoever, because he was part of a super secret plan from Mars. Martian Manhunter was to bring Mars back to life. And because it needed all of him to do so, he split himself into a bunch of different facets of himself. These actual people who believe that they are normal people, but they're actually facets of John Jones, i.e. his intellect, his humor, his compassion, etc. It's the inside out of Martian Manhunter is what we have right here, except all of the characters have their own lives that they're off trying to live. And where we had left off last episode, literally last episode, because it was like 2 months back in it, they had completed the spell. Some of the more pragmatic Martians shoved other ones in. They had flown the plane with the other ones into it inside the giant red beam to complete the spell, bringing back the living Mars once more. But unfortunately, since not all of the aspects of John Jones agreed with that, the spell went a little wonky. So it's kind of a half and half, where half of them wanted Earth to live and half of them wanted Mars to live. So now it's Earth and Mars sitting right next to each other out in space, and they're about to crash into each other. And they're like, oh, well, that's not going to work out for anyone now, is it?
Nope.
I think we're going to have to learn some compromise. More disconcerting, though, all those aspects are now stuck on Mars. They were teleported there when the spell went off. And they're standing there in the middle of the red planet on the desert, and they are very surprised to find out that Mars is populated by the entire cast of Mad Max Fury Road, as a bunch of spiky armored vehicles come tearing across the dunes to get them. And they're like, oh, Jesus, I just saw this movie last month. This is not going to work out well for any of us. Mold, the superhero one, says, everyone run, I'll stop them, and stands in front of them and puts his arm out and goes, stop, I'm a superhero. And they murder him. They just run him right over. All you see is like the tattered blanket cape just being caught in the wheel and spinning around and around and around. They're like, oh, shit. So they start running. They're not going to get away. And Wessel holds up his badge. He's like, might as well. And he's like, stop, FBI. And surprisingly, everyone stops. And they're like, oh, I did not expect that to work whatsoever. They find out, though, that the Mad Max gang is led by none other than Alicia. Do you remember Alicia?
Yes.
The young girl that they left back at the airport. Well, when the spell went off, she was in the clutches of the White Martians who were trying to find John Jones. As we saw, they left to fly off over to Africa and try to figure out this whole spell thing, and they left her behind because they didn't want her to get hurt.
She got eaten by the Martian Man-Eater.
Yes,
which sounds like it has to be another old villain that I'm not aware of.
You know what's creepy? They ate her because it's three people, three White Martians fused together into this giant beast monster thing. Mm-hmm. They ate her and put her into the stomach while one of the faces was in there just like taunting her the entire time. And I was like, that's rough. That is rough. Not the worst childhood we're going to see here this week. I'm telling you that right now, but not good either. But when the spell went off, they all got sent to 20 years ago on Mars. I guess that was the save point that was made for Mars.
The backup file?
Yeah, the backup file. So when the spell went off, it came to being 20 years ago, and she has grown up here as the wasteland leader of all of the survivors of that flight that also went through the portal and has turned them all into Mad Max, which I'm assuming was the movie of the week for the flight. And they have been fighting off against... damn it. Ma'alefak? Ma'alefak. Yeah! Got it on the third try. Who was behind this entire thing. He was running around with them on Earth. It turns out he put all the power inside of Martian Manhunter as basically the backup file for Mars, and thought, okay, if Mars dies, he can go to Earth, use all of their energy, and reborn Mars and kill Earth in the process. Yay, we all win. But when that happened and the thing was all wonky, 20 years ago, Malefax showed up back on Mars along with all the other Martians and has been waging a war against Alicia and her Mad Max gang of biker people. And they've been fighting a pretty awful war. People have been getting killed left and right. So when they find out, Malefax finds out that all of the aspects of John Jones are now on Mars again. He goes, oh, sweet. I can put them all together once more and finish the spell right so that Mars will at least survive.
Good thing one of them didn't die.
Yeah, good. They're like pulling the blanket out from under the wheel. But he's like, I can mush them all back together and make it so Mars survives. Meanwhile, Mr. Biscuits figures out, because all the aspects are kind of standing around like, what the hell are we supposed to do here? This is not what we do. He figures out that there are no cookie stores on Mars and decides, friends, we must fight to save Earth and cookies, but mostly Earth. No, it's actually the cookies, but Earth, definitely Earth. So he starts leading them off to fight off against Malefax. And it turns out this whole war is going to be decided when Alicia turns her Mad Max Transformer cars into a giant robot that also Malefax has a city transformer that turns into a giant robot. And she quotes that their final battle must take place as a, quote, giant Martian mech warrior battle.
Yep.
And that's how it ends. Absolutely ludicrous, absolutely fully aware of its ludicrousness, and it could not have been better.
Yep.
It is so much fun. I'm shocked I say this every month, but it is a fun way to learn about the character and the aspects that make him up while having this zany, over-the-top storyline that's happening behind them. And these characters are tossed into it just as we are, to just be like, I don't even know who these people are. Why are they fighting? What's happening? And why is Grayson sitting on the beach with an Atlantean lung? I just don't understand.
You know what else Rob Williams is writing right now?
What's that?
I heard an interview with him because I saw it's like, ooh, Rob Williams, he does Martian Manhunter. I want to hear what he has to say. Apparently, he is also writing one of the Doctor Who comics.
Oh, really?
And
that would probably work for him.
That would work
Bombastic,
really well. Apparently he's doing the period during the Matt Smith run where he spent a couple hundred years by himself.
Gotcha.
And was picking up a bunch of different companions. So he's got all these comics only companions. Apparently, I haven't read any of them, but I'm certainly going to have to track them down now. Apparently, his companion for some of them is David Bowie.
Oh, really?
And he has a different Bowie personality in every single adventure.
That is pretty slick.
Yeah.
That is pretty slick right there. So, I really enjoy his work so far.
Yeah.
Have not had much exposure to it, but if this is the caliber of his work, I'm very impressed and looking forward to picking up more of his titles, because just out of nowhere, man, I had no desire to read this book, and now every month I'm like, yay, another Martian Manhunter.
Yep. Hey, there's a Martian Manhunter book, Brian. Would you like to take that one? I'm like, nope. And I'm regretting it.
Yeah, I know. That was actually one of our, when we have our, whenever they do the giant announcing of titles, Brian and I have like our, game of chess where you just stare at each other and we have the files on the table in front of us. It's like, okay, I'll take this one. I know you don't want it, but you have to take this one. I don't like it.
Yep.
That's how we try to divvy them up. So this was actually part of that trade where I actually got, I think, Red Hood Arsenal for this, because I said I wanted Red Hood and Arsenal, and you were like, well, you can have it, but you have to take Martian Manhunter too.
Yep.
All right. So next up.
All right. Batgirl. Previously on Batgirl.
Are you going to do that for all of your books?
I've got it written down, so I'm going to.
Fair enough.
So Batgirl tried fighting gentrification in Burnside through a series of events, wound up saving Spoiler from the wrath of the Hasagawa crime family.
Oh.
And fought a guy with a crazy Japanese demon mask with Vega claws.
Did he have a rose in his mouth too?
No, he did not.
Oh.
Frankie shows off her new cybernetic Wi-Fi neck implant. And Babs and Luke talk about...
Wait. Where did she go to get a neck implant for Wi-Fi?
Kadir.
Oh. So he does that now?
Yeah, I guess so.
He does wet work? Just
I
like,
guess
I'm going to interface this with your brain and just boop, there you go. That's a $200 copay for that, and we'll be good.
I guess so, yeah.
That'll finance my rent for this month.
Didn't he also build a motorcycle that folds into a briefcase?
Hey, I understand the guy's supposed to be smart, but there's a difference between mechanical and physiological, like, direct interface of the internet with someone's brain.
Well, wait until you see what he does later in this issue.
Oh, no.
So Babs and Luke also talk about the weird shadow computer dreams that she's been having. So while Barbara was busy fighting gentrification, her and her classmate got some info about some kids being in gangs, and the police arrested them using info that they thought they were keeping confidential.
Okay.
So Babs thinks that she's being hacked. So she teams up with a Spoiler, Bluebird, and Frankie, who is currently being called Operator, but they're still teasing that whole I want to be Oracle thing so hard that it's just like you want to just throttle them. Babs and Spoiler impersonate some cops and break into the Gotham City Police Department to find out if she got hacked. Spoiler gets creeped on by some old police officers like, "Hey, rookie, want me to give you a tour of the locker room?"
Finger guns. Eros showed me this one.
Yep. And this pair of Atlantean lungs that I found.
It's okay, Officer Lungs, who will take care of this one. I just want to see Atlantean Lungs in every book. It's like, hey, get out.
The hot new character find for 2016, Atlantean Lungs. They get in there, they find out that their very specific info was given somehow. They managed to blow their cover. They fight a lady named Corporal Punishment who was being like taken in by the cops. And they get out. But how are they getting hacked? At the end of the issue, Kadir uses some of Babs's work to create a hypothetical renewable energy source.
Wait, isn't he like a teacher's assistant or like I
think he's a grad student.
Okay.
Maybe, which I guess would probably make him.
Regardless. Yes. He should not be living in the streets of Burnside, still in the process of gentrification. So, I mean, it's not like it's the finalized gentrification.
Mm-hmm,
This guy should be making enough money to get out there and live wherever he wants.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I just cobbled this together while I was taking a dump. Here you go.
He just has a blueprint. He saw Barbara had some she used some stuff from the Negahedron.
Okay.
From the annual.
Yep.
And to put into her nebulous grad thesis she's working on, and he saw, like, oh, look, if I do this and this and this, renewable energy for the entire world. Like, oh, cool.
All right, I'm off to lunch. See you guys later.
So her, Kadir, and Luke Fox decide to go in together and create a startup with this new world-altering invention. And at night, the Shadow Dream Monster hacks her dreams and probably steals the schematics for this Negahedron energy thing that they're working with. Whoops.
Horrible at corporate espionage. Mm-hmm. They really need to get their stuff together if they're going to start up a new company here.
Yep.
Hopefully it's like a Silicon Valley style startup. And they all live in a house together, and they have
TJ Miller's in everything right now. We may as well bring him in.
Might as well bring him in. It'll be not Oracle, Barbara, Luke Fox, Kadir, and TJ Miller.
Yeah,
that's all we need.
And we need to get a Martin Starr to.
He can be the neighbor that's just complaining about noise all the time.
He just needs to pester Kadir nonstop. For no reason.
Season 3 of Silicon Valley written, done, all good to go now.
Yep.
Still enjoyable, or kind of getting a little wonky there with some of its characterizations?
A little wonky. I'm enjoying. I still enjoy all the characters interacting with each other.
Yeah.
And maybe once I'm not like power reading stuff, it'll be able to sink in a little bit better.
I was trying to give everything the benefit of the doubt this week because there was so much power reading over the last 2 weeks that I was like, all right, even if you're frustrated, take a step back, reread it again in a day or two, and make sure it wasn't just your mood from powering through a bunch of stuff.
And mind you, they may very well come around. It's like, yes, this is kind of a ridiculous concept that's part of the story.
Yeah.
So
I think Kadir's a robot. He's a robot.
that would make sense, actually.
Or he's Doctor Who.
Possibly.
And
you can hang out with David Bowie.
Yeah, any second now David Bowie's going to show up, and I'll be like,
dance, magic dance.
I'll allow it. He's got the power. What power?
Damien, you remind me of the boy. The boy?
What boy?
The boy with the power.
What power? Who is this man? Where did he come from?
Hey, Zatanna, you kind of look like Jennifer Connelly. Get over here. Da, da, da.
And poor baby Zeke's being tossed around.
Yes. Yes! Let's do this thing,
Tied it
Sean.
all up. The entire week of books, all
And
done.
we kept the musical theme.
All right, I'm going to wrap up the
All right.
half here. Harley Quinn number 24. After a zany misadventure that now counts Xena Bendamova as one of their allies. That's how I'm wrapping up the last issue. Harley has decided to confront the mayor when learning that her boyfriend Mason is being transferred to Arkham Asylum. And the mayor swears up and down, I had nothing to do with it. I didn't order a hit on him. I am not transferring him to Arkham. I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't really appreciate you coming in here threatening my life. I know you have blackmail stuff on me, but, no, get the hell out of here, and chases her out. And he finds out his second in command has actually been ordering all these things to try to make the mayor happy. He ordered the hit on Mason. He ordered the transfer. And now that Harley's all riled up, he's like, well, we're going to have to take care of Harley, so do whatever it is you do that I don't want to know about plausible deniability, but just make Harley go away so that I don't have to worry about the blackmail stuff that she has on me. So that leads us to a madcap assault on Precinct Cuckoo Town when they send an entire hit squad to the tenement that Harley runs, the Freak Show tenement, and with orders to murder everyone in the building, and they have to fend it off. It's like Harley, her gang of Harleys, all of the Freak Show people, Xena Bendamova, Cyborgman. They're all there, and they're all just murdering mercilessly all of these hitmen that have shown up. But after winning the day, she vows that she's going to bust Mason out of Arkham Asylum because he's just a regular dude. It was a manslaughter case. It wasn't even like an intentional murder. He does not want to be in Arkham Asylum. I have been there. I have done that. He does not want to go there. So she's going to go by herself to go bust him out. But not before we find out Mason is bonding with his neighbor in the cell next door. One who is very interested to hear in his love life with Harley Quinn. And that would be the Joker, who's kind of coughing on himself, going, wait, did you say Harley? Harley Quinn? Oh, yeah, I know her. Trust me, I know her. So I'm sure that's going to work out well for everyone involved, and they will have a little Menage Troy or something along those lines. I think it's Donna's sister.
Yeah.
Menage Troy.
Yeah.
Her Irish cousin.
Yes.
That's a Menage Troy. But no, I'm sure that's not going to work out well, considering she just got over the whole abusive relationship thing that they've made a very big point of Harley understanding that it was not a good relationship whatsoever, even if she was infatuated with him. And now I'm sure Joker will be very understanding that she has moved on and found a new love, a new beau for her daily activities. Weep womp.
Weep womp indeed.
A lot of zaniness, as per always. If you like Harley Quinn, it's more Harley Quinn. Running around with Xena Bendamova and doing Harley Quinn things. So it's just so impossible for me to recap this one like in depth because it's all sight gags and puns and everything, and just me rereading the stuff isn't going to make it funny to anyone listening to me recite puns or try to set up sight gags. So I just go, it's Harley. You know what you're going to get, and that's what you get.
And if the sales are any indicator,
it's doing okay.
It's like, isn't it like a top 10 book?
Yeah.
It's like that and Batman or DC's 2 top 10 books.
Yep. Good monies. Good. It's not a bad book. I'm not saying it's a bad book. It's just it's an impossible to recap plot wise without just being kind of concise and here's what is actually happening. And then there's a bunch of jokes in between all of that. It's goofy. It's zany. It's madcap. That's what I like to call it. Madcap. Menage Troy. It's Menage Troy here. But that's it. That'll wrap up the first half of the show. No, that doesn't deserve a hornblower. That will wrap up the first half of the show. So, Brian, why don't you tell the folks what is coming up in the second half of this time-traveling adventure?
I've got Batman, Robin, Son of Batman, and Secret Six.
And I have Batman and Robin Eternal, Batman and Robin Eternal, Batman and Robin Eternal, Batman and Robin Return. Yes, I have a lot of Batman and Robin Eternal. I also have Dr. Fate, and I will wrap it up with the ultimate war in Sinestro. So hold on a couple seconds. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll go through those books.
And we're back
after these messages. If we want to go ABC, is that them that did that for the Saturday morning stuff?
I don't know. Which was the one that had Captain O.G. Reedmore on it?
Oh, jeez. I want to say that was ABC too, with the hankering for a hunk of cheese.
That's what I'm thinking of. I'm not thinking of Captain O.G. Reedmore. I'm thinking of the hunk of
hankering for a hunk of cheese.
I never quite
paid for by the U.S. Dairy Association.
The guy that would tell you to pour fruit juice into ice cube trays and put saran wrap and toothpicks over it.
Yep. Saturday morning. So,
we're old, everybody.
Well, that's not that long ago. That was like a year or two ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, that was when cartoons were on Saturday morning and they had all that stuff.
People still had Saturday morning cartoons within the past year.
Yeah. So let's talk about Batman and Robin Eternal for a while.
Eternally,
for a bit. So, Brian, do you want to say something before I start? Just, people remember you're here.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. So, apologies for the clump O'Shawn, but that's what you have to deal with on occasion, especially when it comes to a weekly book that when we do a time skip. So, let's talk about Dick Grayson and Harper Row. They're off on their adventures in Prague, trying to track down Mother and find out what she has done. They run across the Sculptor, who is a psychic that works for Mother, was one of the first two people that she brought under her wing. And she is used to, quite literally, sculpt the people. After their big traumatic experience, they bring in the psychic person to kind of mold the person into whoever they want it to be, whatever was ordered. And the Sculptor, though, is a younger girl that is actually likes the kids and doesn't want to see them get hurt, and knows that if she doesn't do her job, if they don't meet the criteria that Mother wants, she just has them murdered. So she's been doing her job and trying to do it very well so that these kids do not get murdered. I mean, reasonable thing. But using her psychic powers, we almost find out who it was that Batman ordered from Mother to be the ultimate Robin. But of course, we have to stop. We can't find that out just yet. Mm-mm. So, it's actually very funny because they're about to find out. And then Dick Grayson goes, no! And shakes them. And you're like, no, Dick Grayson, you could have relaxed for 10 more seconds and we would have all known the answer to this ultimate question of the mini here. But they do use her psychic powers as a vehicle for backstory. So we learn who the orphan is. The hired mercenary gun, I guess, the right-hand man of Mother that goes off and murders people all the time, and that is David Kane, a.k.a. Cassandra Cain's father.
Huh.
Dun. Loyally devoted to Mother, and now, I have to say, this is an upset. I know this is going to sound like a major upset. The new contender for Father of the Year.
Yeah.
The newest contender here, because he decided after he had Cassandra to go, well, I want her to be a really good fighter. So I have this theory that if I never speak to her and never allow her to speak, she'll be able to read people's physical motions better. She'll be able to read body language, and that'll make a pretty good fighter, I think. I'm going to try that out. So I'm just going to lock her in solitary all the time, never speak to her, never allow anyone to speak to her, never allow her to speak. And then that's going to be, that's going to work out very well in the future.
Yeah, that checks out with his previous, that's why she doesn't talk, yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then he decides, yeah, but she might just be like daydreaming the whole time. So while I do that, I'm going to spend every day murdering children in front of her. Literally piles and piles of dead children.
I've never seen so many dead children in my entire life.
Since last Tuesday.
Wow. Comics, everybody.
But she is just mortified, and he's trying to make her absolutely numb to this whole thing and slaughtering pallet loads of children and basically every child that fails, and there's a lot of them, and it's just scene after scene of her just like absolutely terrified, and then just kind of like and then just kind of like numbly staring at it as her father is like ripping the arms off of babies. And it's like, yay, David Kane,
ding 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 ding,
you're the new father of the year. Way to go, buddy. Put that up on your mantelpiece. So back in the present, they had busted up the whole ballet thing, and they had blown Mother's operation wide open in Prague, and now she wants to basically flush all of the current projects she had open, and Cassandra Cain has decided she's going to go save these kids this time, and runs off to the nursery where it was, and shows up to find a bunch of dead kids, and goes, oh man, and also finds her father there, of course, covered in the blood of dead kids. It's like, hey, just like old times. Hey, it's like, so what do you want to do for dinner? I don't know. I was thinking meatloaf. You want to do meatloaf? I didn't have really time to put anything in the oven, so, murdering kids and all, so I guess we do takeout. We could probably do some takeout. So she decides, he actually pushes her into this giant pit of dead kids. It's like, hey, honey, I built you a fort of dead kids. Go play. I'll see you at dinner time. And Cassandra decides to go metal as because she takes the blood of the dead kids, paints a Nightwing mask over her eyes with the blood, and then just leaps out of the pit and rips his shit up. Just starts tearing through this place, just beating the crap out of him, but he ends up playing dirty and gets an upper hand and is about to take her out for good. You're a failure. You had so much potential. He's about to kill her, and that's when Grayson and Harper Row show up and help save the day. And poor Grayson and Orphan are stuck fighting while Mother comes over the intercoms and goes, hey, I also built a bunch of death robots and placed a nuclear device underneath this building, so I'm just going to clean up my entire mess here and not deal with any of you people. And puts on the timer for the nuke and releases all the death robots, and everyone has to fight. And it ends with them knocking out a poor battered and bruised Dick Grayson. Finally gets the upper hand on Orphan, and they're able to jump into his flying car and fly away as the nuke goes off behind them. And now,
do they look at the explosion?
They don't. They're too cool.
They're so cool.
Way too cool. It was slow motion too. Just but he's now flying everyone over to Spiral because it's time to bring in the big guns. He's tired of this crap. I'm just going to bring my giant spy organization into this, and we're just going to get all the answers we need and track her down. But there's been another story happening, and it's more apt and more fitting for this week's actual issue, so I'm going to do the setup for that, and that is the story of Red Hood and Red Robin. A story that has me liking Red Robin, has me kind of enjoying Tim Drake. Now, don't get me wrong, we all know, if you've listened to any episode of this show, I love me some Jason Todd. I am a huge fan of Red Hood in the current iteration of the New 52. But having Tim Drake play the straight man to all of his zaniness is really working well. It's really, really working well. Like we talked about last week where it was the, how many people have you punched out in church? None. Taking a couple punches myself. Whoop, 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 whoop. And Tim Drake is just dumbfounded that they have any relationship whatsoever, that they even have to hang out with. That's what all of this whole thing is. It's him kind of like oh, right. I'm stuck with Jason Todd. I just have to keep things normal. I can't let things get out of hand. I'm very pragmatic, very analytical, and Jason Todd just like, ha ha ha, running around shooting at things. Finger guns, bang bang. And that's why it's working, and it's a great team, and they're good together. And they were trying to track down the tech of where this whole thing was going on. Where's Mother getting all this technology to make these people and cause them to follow her every command, these sleeper cell agents, and they have tracked down that technology to the island of Santa Prisca. You know this island, Brian?
I know this island.
I know this island. No, it's Bane's house. And they're like, hey, Bane's house, sweet.
Is Bane gonna have a house party?
He was, but he got kicked out of his own house because when he
No pajama jammy jam?
No pajama jammy jam. Remember when he led that whole war thing against Gotham?
Where he didn't understand metaphors?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, he took most of his troops with him, and when he left, the Order of Saint Dumas moved in. and took over. And they're
Saint Dumas, eh?
Saint Dumas, eh? No, just Saint Dumas, not
comma, eh?
But they kind of moved in and took over and built this giant fortress and conscripted all of the remaining troops that he had left, and he's just kind of roaming around the jungles of Santa Prisca, plotting his revenge. But that's when he finds Jason Todd and Tim Drake, and during that whole war thing, he got into a fist fight with Jason Todd, and they're like, oh, sweet, rematch, and they're like having their little fisticuffs thing when Tim Drake goes, hey guys, we both don't like what's in that building. Can't we just go punch them first, and then you guys could duke it out? And they're like, all right, fair enough, we could do that. And they're like, woo, they go charging off in. Yay. Side note, there was a wonderful scene where they're flying to Santa Prisca and Jason Todd is flying their plane. He's like, don't worry, I'm a great pilot. This is going to be awesome. And Tim Drake's all worried because he's not rich. I only have one plane, man. Don't jack up my plane. And he flies him right into a giant missile shot off by the defenses of Santa Prisca. And Jason Todd's like, don't worry, you'll get another one at some point. As I said, there's this great dynamic between the two of them because it's the odd couple pretty much, where Tim Drake is the very by the numbers, by the book, stick up his ass kid, and then Jason Todd is just not that whatsoever. So they run into the Order of St. Dumas thing, and they're trying to find information when they are confronted by Azrael, who shows up with his giant flaming sword and says, hey, you guys aren't supposed to be here. I'm gonna smote you bitches. And they're like, Azrael? Huh. Who's this guy? We've never heard of him. Sure, Nightfall happened in the past, but I guess Azrael had nothing to do with it. If he did, we would probably know him, or at least of him.
We will ignore the whole special armor thing that he gave Batman during,
we know
Batman
nothing
Incorporated.
of him. He is a new character that we have just met for the first time. And it turns out he's been brainwashed by the Order of St. Dumas and made into their Knight of Truth. And he has for lack of better comparison, a penance gauntlet. Kind of like the Ghost Rider penance stare thing where you can convert people over to his side and make them see all their sins and everything. And then they go, oh, I have sinned. I'm a horrible person. I want to join up with your church, blah, 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 blah. And he ends up doing that on Bane, and Bane actually ends up joining up with the Order of St. Dumas. But he actually catches Tim Drake as well before they can escape. And Tim Drake is rung through the ringer there, drawn through it so that he also gets put into the, I guess, whammy, for lack of a better word. He goes through the convert whammy, and Jason Todd pulls him to safety, and they end up running away. So in this issue, up to the present day now, I made it. In this particular issue, Azrael is then surprised when he's at St. Dumas headquarters to see Tim Drake dragging the unconscious body of Jason Todd up to the gates because, hey, you did your little convert whammy thing on me. I totally want to join. I brought this as a token of respect and as my sacrifice so that I can prove to you guys my loyalty. They go, all right. Azrael doesn't trust them whatsoever. He's like, come on, guys. This is clearly a setup. But the actual Saint Dumas inside the headquarters comes over the loudspeaker and goes, no, allow him to pass. I want to have him join our army. He would be a great asset. Throw the other one in a giant cell over there and we'll deal with him later. Even though it'd be much more efficient if this was a setup for me to just take care of him now. We'll do it later. So they end up tossing Jason Todd into a cell and bring Tim Drake for a meeting to this guy that's all plugged into the tower itself. And he is the quote-unquote energy source of all of their technology. Meanwhile, Jason Todd, a.k.a. the Lockpick Kid, that's what they called him back in the Narrows. Did you read any of these?
No, I didn't.
It's this running joke where whenever they come to a locked door, he goes, yeah, you know what they used to call me in the Narrows? The Lockpick Kid. And everyone that's standing around is just like, that is the stupidest name I've ever heard. So he breaks out and he's like, yeah, another win for the Lockpick Kid. He's making his way through.
Oh, Jason Todd.
It's so great. It really is just so great. And he ends up getting all the information about how Mother and St. Dumas are trying to build the ultimate moldable people so that they can both go about their various nefarious deeds and do their things. They'll split the world between themselves and one will control one half and the other will control the other half. They don't care, but they're working together to perfect this technology, essentially. While Tim Drake is brought in front of Saint Dumas and told, hey, ever since you guys messed around with Azrael over there, he's been kind of all jacked up and doubting his mission and stuff because you were like, hey, your name is John Paul Valet. You're not actually a Knight Templar. You're a regular dude. They brainwashed you. And now he's like having doubts about it. So Saint Dumas goes, so in order to fix that, Tim, I want you to be the new Azrael. So kill that one for me. Make it go away. And that would be awesome. And Tim Drake goes, I would love to do that for you. I would love to be Azrael. But, surprise, this was all a setup. I was never actually working for you. And Azrael's like, I told you, but since you're being a dick and trying to get me killed, I'm going to be a dick and destroy your entire temple power source thing here. And he frees Tim Drake as they go, okay, well, if neither one of you will be our Azrael, we just captured Jason Todd and we are putting him through the whole process. They inject all the chemicals and everything and kind of put him up on a big old stand, and they go, once he comes to, he's going to be completely loyal to Saint Dumas, and he'll be our new Azrael. And as Azrael is beating down all of the clerics of Saint Dumas for whatever they're doing, they have like these little vestments that they hold up. Like, it's very funny because they have their crosses, I guess you could say, that they hold up. And Jason Todd's like, I'm not a vampire. What are you expecting that to do? And then they shoot laser beams out, and he's like, okay, gotcha. But while Azrael is fending them all off, Tim goes and does a space dive into his psyche and then tries to convince him to not give in to the rage that they're trying to do. Because basically what it does is make you relive your most traumatic moment. But instead of you feeling helpless, it makes you like super powered and you take control and win. And it makes you feel like, yeah, I'm absolutely in control. I'm the biggest, like, awesome guy. But then they threaten to take that power away from you unless you stay and whatever. So, he convinces Jason Todd to actually live through the beating of the Joker when the Joker was killing him instead of, killing the Joker himself, and, tells him that that's part of who he is now. He has to learn to accept it, learn to live with it. That's just part of Jason Todd, and he ends up fighting it off and comes to normally. And just as Azrael goes, okay, well, my little flaming sword here, I'm going to make it go thermonuclear to destroy this headquarters, so you guys might want to leave. And they go jumping in a plane and fly away. Actually, they run into the hangar, and Jason Todd goes, see, told you you'd get a plane back. And they fly off. It's really good. It's really fun. We see Azrael survive.
So the island explodes?
The headquarters explodes. Yeah, like the temple itself.
As they're flying away, do they look back?
They don't look back. They're so just cool. That cool. But as they fly away, you see Azrael climbing out from the wreckage, just like, yeah, I'm pretty badass. While Jason Todd is going, really coming to terms. He's matured quite a bit between this whole thing and the other things that have been happening in his life as far as like forgiving Bruce and having friends and understanding that he can't just be a loner. He actually does have ties to the world. He tells Tim that, you know, Batman, even if he conscripted us all as soldiers to just be warriors in this whole big thing, I don't think he counted on us all becoming a family, and I think that worked out for the best. So thanks, bro. Finger guns. Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
And they go flying off into the night to track down Dick Grayson and the rest of the crew to give them the information that they found. And I was like, yeah, there you go. There's my boy.
It was like a team, because crap just got real.
Yeah, that's right. Apparently this one only goes to 26 issues. It's not like Batman Eternal that went to 50 odd or so. So we're over halfway. We're at the build to the climax, the final build here, where we're going to start mushing all of our storylines together into the main storyline. Still no BuzzFeed Joey.
No.
Still think he would have been a great member of We Are Robin at the very least.
Yeah.
But really good. Really good. Art has, obviously, since they're changing it, since it's weekly, it was a little jarring to read them all back to back to back to back to back like that, just because it shifted up so much. But I'm sure with the week gap in between, it wouldn't be as jarring in between storylines.
The eternal struggle of the weekly book.
Yeah. Still,
especially when
still
Keith Giffen's not doing breakdowns on every single issue.
Well,
so
Batman Eternal, the last weekly, the major Batman weekly they did, had some rough spots when it came to art. I'm not going to lie. This one feels a lot tighter, a lot more time, I think, was given to some of these artists to allow them to actually finish the issue before it was going off to the printers. So, this one at least feels like the art is good in each issue. It's just differing styles that breaks it up. So it's hard for me to complain about the art because you can't have one guy drawing 4 issues a month.
Exactly.
You just can't unless you finish the entire thing
you've
beforehand.
really got to have some advanced planning going on that one.
Then that would be years, unless it's like a 6-week weekly or something like that. You can't do 26 issues without having at least 2.5 years lead time, probably, to get it to that point. But good. I enjoy it quite a bit.
Very good.
Next up,
I'm moving on to just regular, plain old
Vanilla
Batman. Vanilla Batman, number 48. But previously on Batman.
Oh, jeez.
Jim Bats was able to save himself from Mr. Bloom sicking the Robot Bunny Batsuit on him. He destroyed a bunch of his seeds that he had in his little seed warehouse.
Did you stomp on them? Yeah, I'm stomping on these seeds. And Mr. Bloom's like, they're seeds, dude. You're just planting them. No, I'm destroying them.
he exploded the bunny batsuit on it.
All right, well, that works probably a bit more effectively.
And he used like an EMP to short out Mr. Bloom's vaguely defined electrical powers.
Okay.
So he arrests him and takes him in. Duke, who's one of the We Are Robins, manages to get away from the Penguin and his goons because Bruce Wayne was able to track him down and save him. And he's just like, see how you track me down there, Bruce Wayne? Like a detective of some sort.
Yes.
He does everything except say, you are Batman. He even takes him down to a subway where a gigantic subway car almost runs him over. And when the subway car almost runs him over, Bruce Wayne sees it as a gigantic bat. Like anything. Is this doing anything for you?
Sure is a dark night tonight.
So, what
do you think about that, Bruce? Do you think it's a dark night tonight?
Mary, my art teacher girlfriend, you shut up.
Gosh,
I'm
so
Duke.
close. I'm so close right now.
So as Jim takes Mr. Bloom in, many Mr. Blooms suddenly show up and bust him out, and they destroy another bat semi-truck.
No! They only have like 50 of those.
And as we go back to Amnesia Bruce at the park bench we saw in the first issue, and Amnesia Joker sits down next to him, and they both bond over having had an accident at the same exact park.
Wah, 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 wah.
I'll bust out my sound file for that later.
I'm sure that's gonna work out well.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Joker will become Batman. It'll be like a classic Gilligan's Island. Coconuts hit them on the head, and they switch personalities. And Joker becomes Batman, and Batman becomes Joker, and that's the new status quo.
Maybe. Spider-Man kind of did that.
Maybe. I'm not saying it's an original idea. I just said it's from Gilligan's Island, which is like 50 years old, so cut me some slack here.
Okay. So, coming up to the current issue, Amnesia Bruce and Amnesia Joker have a conversation, and you don't know if Joker actually has amnesia, or if he's just trying to goad Bruce into becoming Batman again.
Or is he just trying to figure out how much he actually knows?
Yeah, exactly. Bloom's fake, God, this is hard to say. Bloom's fake Bloom henchmen break him out, and Bloom grows to just be like 10 stories tall, like pulling helicopters out of the air.
Does he have a giant blue ox as well?
No, he does not.
Damn it.
And he carries Jim around town screaming about how messed up Gotham is, seeing as how he's 10 stories tall and able to scream at them.
Well, yes. I mean, you got to take advantage when you grow to 10 stories tall. I mean, you got to make a really dramatic point at that time, or else you're really wasting the entire effect. Yeah,
so he's like, look, this is your Batman. It's not even really Batman. It's just the chief of police. Come on. It's your former commissioner.
Does Bloom then start building a giant red Solo Cup fortress?
If
he
only.
Mashes his action figures together.
Yeah, so and then he tells everyone, it's like, hey, if you're just sick of the city being super messed up, I've put seeds all over the place. You pick this up, you make a little incision in your skin, put the seed in there, you'll get superpowers, and we can just all tear this crappy place down.
Really, this is the first rational supervillain I think we've had in Gotham City, where he's like, just raise it, salt the earth so nothing here ever grows again.
Yep.
We know this is a bad place, everyone.
Yeah, so
Bruce Wayne's like, no, it's a crucible. It'll make you stronger. He's like, nope, it's a piece of shit. Burn it down.
Nope, you can quote as many old novels you read in grade school as you want. This place is garbage. Kill it with fire. What about that bulletin board with glasses on it? No. So Jerry Powers puts out a call to send the rest of the robo-suit cops out. Bruce tries to save the kids at the rec center, but one of them planted a seed in herself and turns into like a bone monster or whatever. And he's just like, nope. That's my breaking point. This is my breaking point. And,
I feel like I should throw things at you, oddly shaped like bats.
Yeah, and funny enough, it's mentioned
maybe
that
he's gonna rebrand himself as like the kindergarten teacher or something.
the kindergarten cop, perhaps.
Oh.
Why are you growing all those bone spikes,
It's
Mr.
not a
Bloom? It's
tumor.
not a tumor. So I do want to mention, just because I forgot to put it anywhere, Mr. Bloom does mention that he grew out of the Potter's Field. Like it has been mentioned in several stories before.
Yep, where all the people were buried that they didn't know who they were, and there was a bunch of villains buried there as well, like horrible murderers and everything that didn't have family to pay for an actual funeral.
So maybe the Spinity villain that he bears some vague resemblance to is the one who grew out of there.
Yeah,
maybe.
that would make sense.
Yeah.
And if there is a superpowered people buried there, you never know. I mean,
You never know.
yeah, it is the soil of Gotham. We didn't salt it enough.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gotham City.
Yep.
When are they
So,
just
but there's just this big crescendo of everything going wrong, and Bruce finally breaks into Alfred's room, and we close on him screaming, "Take me to my cave!" And Alfred's just crying, "No, Master Bruce! Oh, hello, but no, Master Bruce! Why would you? No, don't make me take you to the cave.
We have no caves here.
We have no caves."
Are you sure you would like a lovely crumpet?
Jammy Dodger, perhaps.
I still love Britain. I'm sorry,
Yes,
guys.
yeah.
I feel like we should just open every show with a disclaimer of, we are sorry, entire region of the world. We are very sorry.
Yes. We love you dearly, and that's why.
We hurt you because we love you. So, Batman, building up too.
Yeah.
Everything's coming to
It'd be
its head right now.
sad to see Robot Bunny Batman go away, as we
said it
inevitably
has to
knew was
go
going
away?
to happen.
Who said?
I suppose you're right.
Yeah, we could have him come in to save the day on occasion.
There's enough Batman.
Yeah, he can be Commissioner Bunny.
Yeah.
Commissioner Bunny. And then just pop in. But he has to hop everywhere he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weep, weep, weep.
No weep whooping. So you get to go again.
Oh, yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not going to do it this week because I didn't take notes, but we are going to have to come back, circle back around on Gotham by Midnight.
Yeah, we're gonna put a couple of them in starting next week.
Unlike slower weeks where we don't have Batman and Robin Eternal.
Yeah, I figured this week would be the catch up for the weekly, and then next week we can fill in some of the back books that we missed over that ended their runs.
We're talking about salting the earth and whatnot. It
Yes.
reminded me, it's like, oh yeah, we do need to do Gotham by Midnight at one point. All right, so Robin, Son of Batman. Previously on Robin, Son of Batman.
One more to go.
Damian Wayne left his wacky globetrotting superhero redemption quest and fun supporting cast to be in the Robin War crossover, and maybe he joined the Court of Owls for like a chapter or two.
Just one or two.
I'm going to leave that up to you when
Just
you get
one
to
or two.
when you get to Robin War. I'm going to leave that up to you.
Does he then have a brutal fight with Deathstroke where a bunch of limbs get broken? Like the cartoon version?
Didn't watch that one. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Okay.
It was really brutal.
All right. Deathstroke. Yes, so Damian is getting a haircut.
That's what this issue is?
This issue is Damian getting a haircut from Alfred.
Oh. I thought he was going downtown to like an actual barber shop and Ice Cube was going to be there.
No.
And they would have like a misadventure at the barber shop. Yeah.
Queen Latifah. So he's getting a haircut from Alfred, and oh, hello, Master Damian. Looking a little shaggy there. Perhaps you should stop moving while I do this. I only have one hand. Perhaps you could share a story about your adventures while you were away. I heard your romps were quite fun. I would like to hear more about them now that there aren't any crossovers going on. He goes, okay, all right, Alfred. So Damian tells about the time he and Nobody and Goliath had to return a spear he stole to an ancient temple, and they had to fight evil future versions of themselves. as a test so they could acquire the bloodless blade.
Okay.
And once Alfred is done with his one-handed haircut, Damian eyeballs his Goliath whistle, and the next issue says Goliath in Gotham, and my eyes just roll in the back of my head, and my jaw drops into a gigantic smile.
We're gonna get the scene.
Like, yeah!
We're gonna get it of him hiding in the alleyways with all the other man bats.
Yeah. Yep. This seemed like it was just, we gotta catch up with the Batman story before we can continue with everything. And Ray Fawkes said, ooh, I want to write a Damian Year of Blood story. And they said, okay, here's Ramon Box to draw it. It'll be pleasantly cartoony and fun.
Yep.
And there is nothing wrong with that at all.
Not at all. I mean,
because let me tell you, I was side-eyeing that Robin War crossover pretty hard.
Yeah, we'll come back to the Robin War stuff later as well, because I want to do it in order instead of...
Because I saw it involved a lot of Talons.
Yes.
A lot of Talons.
Yeah.
And if you remember, if you're a longtime listener of this show,
Brian loves Talons.
I love Talons.
Even though Talon, the actual book, ended on a really strong note.
It really did.
Yeah, with Lord Deathman and all of those misadventures.
But it involved a lot of Talons to get there.
They did burn through a lot of Talons.
Talon.
I forgot about your recap of 18. Talon.
And it was accurate. Don't forget, that was accurate.
I know. They were trying. They were trying something new.
I know.
It was still early enough that they could get away with it.
And for a new reader, it made sense.
Yeah, it made perfect sense to me.
When trying to recap it, with 15 different characters named Talon, impossible.
Talon 1 and Talon 2 really don't like Talon 3 because Talon 3 teamed up with Talon 6 to take out Talon 7, and now Talon 7's best friend, Talon 12, is very irate with both of them and is teamed up with Talon 1 and 2.
It was like House of Cosby's, but with Talon. Which, man, let me tell you, going back and watching House of Cosby's...
Ooh, not the same.
Oh, man, no.
Not the same.
No, it just adds another level of disrespect to it.
All right, so let's move on to Dr. Fate. The Doctor is in, Brian. In this case, he's in the afterlife because he was eaten by the god Anubis, god of death, Egyptian god of death. And as Khalid...
Everyone's favorite green grocer.
Yep. And as Khalid is stuck there in the afterlife, he's kind of like, am I supposed to do something here or what? And Anubis is cheating even with his scales and the feather. He puts Khalid's body on one side and the feather on the other. You know, the old Egyptian death myth that he would weigh your sins against the weight of a feather, and if you weighed more than the feather, you would be cast off into hell, basically. Well, in this case, Khalid is actually lighter than the feather, so he just kind of puts his finger on Khalid's side and goes, boop! Oh, yep, you all saw it. Look, he's much heavier than that feather. And as he's about to do that, the patron god of the helm of Naboo, the Egyptian god of knowledge named Thoth, shows up and goes, hey, you're cheating, I saw that, and then has a fight with him and gives his staff of energy and teaches him how to summon the staff of pharaohs so that he can fend off Anubis, and ends up doing so and turning him back into a regular-sized jackal instead of the giant jackal-headed monster dog that was flooding all of Earth. And as he drains all of his powers away and leaves him kind of impotent there in the afterlife, all of the creepy follower creature things of Anubis that were living in the afterlife go, hey, Dr. Fate, dude, what are we supposed to do here now that you've destroyed the god of this entire realm? And you want to just stay here and be the god of the afterlife, at least until things get back to normal, until we figure out what the next plan is? And Khalid, being the very forward-thinking man he is, goes, nah, why don't you guys just take over, you creepy monster-looking things? I'm sure nothing could possibly go wrong. See you later, and he heads on back to Earth. For a plot point that
and then his mother
certain we'll visit again.
And his mother's just like, why did you turn down that wonderful job opportunity? There will always be dead people, honey.
Yeah, but it was only Egyptians that still worship gods from centuries ago. Still, it had job security. I mean, it is eternal. It is the afterlife. So with the afterlife in disarray now and him back in the normal world once more, alive and restored, he finds himself trying to heal the world as Thoth asked him to do. In Thoth's dying breath, she was like, oh no, you are the last of my power. Go out there and heal the world. And he starts with trying to repair all the damage that Anubis's flooding did, and he's like fixing up freeways and putting together buildings again. And then he finds this church that his mom really likes over in France is falling down from the floods. And he goes, well, I can take care of that too. And he flies over and he fixes up the church real quick. And as he's going to leave, an angel shows up and goes, hey, Catholicism here. Kudos, buddy. See you later. And just kind of flies off. And he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I can see other pantheons as well. This is a little bit of an existential that's too far for me. I can understand the being the embodiment of the pharaohs and the last guy that has all the power of the Egyptian pantheon, but Jesus, no, I can't get on board with that. No, it's actually very funny where he then goes to his philosophy professor at school, who he has like a kind of jovial relationship with. And it's like, hey, kind of having a little bit of a crisis of faith here. Kind of can see all of them and where they're coming from, shall we say. I'm just going to leave it pretty vague there. And I feel like I'm being told to heal the world, and I don't know where to start. And his philosophy professor is just like, don't worry about it, Khalid. You're a good kid. You're going to be absolutely A-okay. You just get out there and be you. I have the utmost faith in you. You're going to be super cool. And Khalid just kind of walks off like, I guess. I'm glad you feel that way. And as he does leave, the professor turns to his dog that he was walking and goes, hey, think I should have been nicer to him? And the dog just kind of unleashes itself and walks off like, no, if he hasn't figured out he's being watched by all the pantheons, he's never going to figure it out. And doop-a-doop-doop-doop goes walking into the house.
Does this mean he might get to join the super best friends?
He could. I'm just saying, I think this is a wonderful setup for a book now.
With Master Control Program, Jehovah and Joseph Smith and Seaman.
I'm just saying, it took a little bit. Those first 6 issues, I love the supporting cast that were built. It was like, okay, it's him fighting Anubis, floods. Okay, we got this going here. We're getting a basic run through of his power set and who he is as a person. Now that we got past that, and this is the next step where it's like, yeah, it's not just the Egyptian gods. He's going to be kind of like the center fulcrum of all pantheons. Like, they all basically see him as an operative on Earth, and he's just kind of in the middle. That's actually a pretty good setup, I think.
Yeah.
Peacekeeper of the gods on Earth. That's kind of badass. That's kind of badass as far as, especially when we have like the Greek pantheon over there throwing dinner parties. And being stupid.
God, the crossover potential.
I'm just saying. A lot more potential showed up with just that one little plot point that I'm just like, okay, I'm in. You got me now. I want to see where you're going to take this.
Very good. All right, am I closing out? No, I'm continuing.
You're wrapping up yours.
I'm closing out mine with Secret 6 number 10.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Previously on Secret 6, our team of not heroes / not villains were sent to destroy some alabaster columns for bad people that, if they succeed, will unleash like Lovecraftian nightmare monsters onto the Earth.
Well, that doesn't seem like a very well thought out plan.
And it was so confusing. Ferdy even spent a page talking to the reader, trying to explain to the next issue, like, no. I'm sorry, everyone. This is what's happening. I apologize. And then Shauna shows up like, who are you talking to, Ferdy? He's like, don't worry about it.
I just had to fix something from the last issue is all. We're good now.
They destroy the first one and then head off to a retro town being lorded over by Managala, the cancer god from the Ryan Choi Adams series. Oh. Because apparently the entirety of December was just stuff that we love.
It really was. Brian and I were talking about that this week where we're like, okay, well, we'll just do some rough overviews of December and get us caught up into the January books as we're doing them here. And he's like, yeah, but everything I love is in December. And I'm like, really? Let me read some books. Holy shit, it is like every character I wanted to see in the last couple months. What the hell, guys?
I know. Yeah, so they destroy the second pillar to kill him. And in all this, the good magic users start thinking, oh, wait, maybe we should start like really trying to stop them because they're being successful and we're losing all of our powers and like Dead Man's actually melting. Swamp Thing's just like a desiccated like husk of he's like a burnt out tree now. And Black Alice is becoming too unstable, siphoning all the magic power from everyone, and asks Scandal Savage to kill her.
Aww.
Yeah.
Aw.
So as we
Things never work out for Scandal. I've always felt bad for her character.
Yeah. So as we come into issue 10, we see that an ancient god named Thrum has been unleashed on the world because of all the magic stuff going on. Since all the magic people are getting sick, Zatanna, after being recruited by David Bowie, he's like, I can't do my dance. Without any of this magic, get Superman to help you.
It is dance magic dance. Do you not understand this?
Yes, if you take down these alabaster columns, I can't do anything. I'm 1985 David Bowie from the film Labyrinth.
Oh,
we know.
Yes,
we know.
Yes, we know which one you are.
Favorite episode of Flight of the Conchords. The Bowie
bulge kind of gives it away.
Yeah, so Zatanna recruits Superman to help them stop the Secret Six. And as she tries to explain to him what's going on, even she admits that she's not doing a very good job explaining what's happening. This book has become very self-aware.
You guys just have to trust me. This isn't good.
Yeah.
We don't want this to happen. Why? It's not good. Just go with that, okay?
Yeah, so the six get to the last two columns, which are right next to each other, conveniently, as if they just wanted to get the story over with. Superman shows up and says, hey, guess what? This is over, you guys. Call it a day. Zatanna explained everything to me, I think.
She said bad.
Yeah.
Or dab. She was like, man,
she was like,
zoop.
Yeah. She's like dab, and if Superman's dabbing, that means that the craze is over. You know, it's like Grandma and Superman if they know what dabbing is. Anyway, so they fight, and Shabby Shauna and Porcelain actually manage to give him a run for his money because their powers are so weird.
Magic based or just caught off guard?
Well, Porcelain, because she can make anything that's like the stronger something is, the more brittle she can make it.
Yeah.
So when she touches him, he gets like super weak.
Oh, okay.
And just Shauna has like weird telekinetic mind powers, which might be magic based. I don't think we've ever really gotten a full
we've
clear.
never really dug into that one.
So she kind of like flings him around for a few seconds until he realizes what's going on.
And then he punches them in the face?
Yeah.
Okay.
As you do. The big payoff here is that...
use your dance magic, Superman!
Yes. So the big payoff is that when Scandal tries to kill Black Alice to save the world, she doesn't die because Black Alice is already dead.
Ah.
The car crash that killed her family killed her too. So when she called up to the dark gods to give her powers to save her, a demon she had been talking with just took over her body so it could walk the earth.
Oh.
Because the last place anyone would look for an actual demon was in a poser goth kid.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is kind of brilliant on the part of this demon.
She's for reals.
Yeah.
I just thought she liked The Cure.
Yeah,
I never knew.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty great. So she threatens the lives of Scandal's wives, which I'm not trying to rhyme here, if she tells anyone, because Scandal is in a happily married lesbian triple in this continuity.
Okay.
So yeah, and goes.
Is it with Menagio Troy?
You don't know. We haven't met Menagio Troy yet. It might be. Yeah, and she goes back to the Secret Six, acting like a happy teenage girl, using Big Shot as a surrogate father again, because another one of the magic guys showed up at the end of the battle, and he's like, "Hey, everything's cool now.
Thanks, guys. Finger guns, bang bang."
because off on the side, Thrum, this unknowable demon, it's like a hunger demon, and its most favorite thing to eat is zealots.
Okay.
So the fake Atlantis cult that was like causing all this problem, it's like, oh, these things are delicious, and they're like, oh yes, our god is here to destroy the world, and it just eats them and goes back under the water.
Well, that's a sad day for them.
And that story is that we got our Black Alice reveal. Here we go.
And move. Poor Scandal.
Yeah,
poor Scandal. Caught in the middle of all this stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Not as good as the Get Out of Hell free card storyline. Have to admit.
Yeah.
That was their first foray into the really weird stuff, and they were just like, I don't know. I doubt it's real, but if it is, I kind of want it.
My life is so hard, I'll just have to be consoled by my two beautiful wives.
Oh, Menagio Troy! All right, well, I'm going to wrap us up because we have Sinestro War level Sinestro books going on here. Huge wars happening over in Sinestro number 18 and 19. where the armies of the Paling, the religion of no emotion, just stop with that. Stop it.
Okay.
Right now. They have followed Sinestro to Earth after he showed up there and released their leader, which was some sort of corrupt guardian of the universe that appears to not subscribe to the theories of the rest of the Guardians of the Universe that emotion can save things. He's like, no, it's bad. I've met Hal Jordan. It's bad. But there is this great, like, throughout these books, Sinestro is sitting there like, oh, that was a rookie mistake. That was a stupid mistake coming here with Warworld. Of course they would follow me here. This is why this planet's always under attack. Hal Jordan did this crap all the time. Oh my God, am I as bad as Hal Jordan?
Oh no.
Oh jeez.
Oh no.
I'm making Hal Jordan level mistakes here. Maybe.
Something's, I don't know, things are starting to hit me on the head. What's going on?
But it's this great, really subtle realization.
A rock just comes off of a cliff, and like the tiniest rock hits him on the head. He's like, oh my God, I'm becoming my father.
I'm becoming everything I hate. But it's this great, like, just quiet realization that maybe it wasn't so easy. Maybe Hal Jordan isn't an idiot. Maybe it's just keeping all these plates spinning as one man is really freaking hard. But on the outside, of course, he's still all pompous and a jackass and like, of course, this was all my plan. And, as such, it's now up to him, Black Adam, Wonder Woman, and the combined might of the Sinestro Corps and Warworld, to stop this army. But even that isn't enough, as the Paling is running around conscripting other humans and heroes and villains, stripping them of emotion and making them join their fight against the Sinestro Corps and their allies. So, Sinestro, playing general at the back of the field, just watching the war happen around him, goes, I think it's about time. Release the Sinestro Hunters, and all of the Manhunters that have been retrofitted with Sinestro faces come flying out, and they're like, nothing escapes the Sinestro Hunters. And, they go, pew, 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 start shooting everything, and then he goes, and release a wave of rings to conscript more to my army, and they all go flying off, landing on the fingers of people like Wonder Woman, Superman. They cause fear indirectly. They don't mean to, but they still do. So you get rings. Have fun, guys. Enjoy. And an extremely happy Scarecrow who is finally rejoined with his Precious. It's like, oh, Precious, I missed you. I knew I'd find you once again. And he puts it on and starts like blasting fear stuff all over the place. So I guess we have Gollum now as Scarecrow. Still losing ground to the Paling, though, because they play their trump card, which is a Paling-powered, but still really pissed off Mongol, who, remember, Sinestro strapped a bunch of fear energy to him and shot him off into space, which kind of acted as a beacon for the Paling, who were like, hey, what's that giant fear thing flying around? And they picked him up and conscripted him into the Paling army, and he's there to reclaim Warworld and get his revenge, but he can't show anger because emotion's bad, according to these guys, so I'm just not going to tell you, but really pissed off at you right now. So he's fighting Black Adam while Sinestro's still in the back.
Hey, you. That is my planet. I would like to have it back.
I would be
not for any emotional reasons, but basically on a possession is 9/10 of the law type. No, wait, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean.
I would be very happy if you returned my... I would be very neutral if you returned my planet. But anyhow, since Mongol's going around tearing stuff up, beating up Black Adam now, Sinestro goes, release another wave of rings, and another wave goes out conscripting people like Constantine, Black Mana, Etrigan the Demon, and even the Creeper, because we all fear
litigation.
Random litigation. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just a fear that's in the back of our heads all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, oh God, is someone going to sue me? Yeah. So the Creeper had to get in there. Call back. Yep. So even that isn't enough. Even with all of these other people with rings and all these heroes, quote, with rings and other villains and etc., running around fighting off the Paling across Earth, it's still not enough. They're still at a draw. So he goes to the most powerful force there is. He looks into his bag of tricks and goes, it's time. I think we can rout this army once and for all. Release Saint Walker.
No!
And out comes a bruised, battered, scientifically spliced, like, hey guys,
oh my God.
Saint Walker.
Oh my God.
And I was like, yes, Saint Walker. And then as soon as I saw him, I was like, no, you son of a bitch. What have you done to Saint Walker? He's got like Sinestro flesh, like Frankenstein onto his arm.
Oh no!
Just like bloody nose and hollow eyes. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm here to supercharge rings," and everyone's spear rings shoot up to 200%. And even Sornik Datu is like, "What the hell is that? What did you do?"
Oh man!
So happy and so angry in one moment like that. It was 2 panels. I was like, yes, say Walker, he's back. Holy shit, you broke him. What have you done to my favorite guy out here?
Oh, man.
So everyone gets supercharged and they start fending off all of the paling people. Black Adam does some ocular distress eye gouging on the Mongol. Just like thumbs right into the eyeballs. And Sornik goes up to Sinestro after saying, what the hell did you do to St. Walker? Says, so now what? Now what are we doing? He's like, oh yeah. Well, if you remember in all of my previous storylines, I also had the Lobo as an ally, and I had him go around and collect some rings for me. So he opens up like a little belt pouch, and he's like, well, I know it's in here somewhere. Let me find it. Aha! Here we are. Violet ring. Let us teleport straight to the Guardian of the universe. And they do so, and he's like, ha-ha! I've planned for everything, and now I will destroy you once and for all. And that's where we leave off. And it is a Sinestro level event, Sinestro War level event, as far as the characters showing up and the wars and the battles and the smoting. But as
it's all contained in one series.
Yeah, it's all contained in 3 issues right now. So that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all. But it's, as I said, it's a surface level. He's being all pompous, being all like planned for everything. Worry not, everybody. Sinestro has this well under control, but throughout all of these scenes in the background where he's thinking to himself, he's just like, ah, damn it. That's what Hal Jordan would have done. Ah, damn it. Damn it. Is it now? Oh, shit. God. there's that level just under the surface where you see him coming to grips that, he's just
Past
like
2 episodes, we should have just said earmuffs at the beginning of each one.
What's that?
You're cursing a lot.
I'm beeping.
Okay, gotcha.
I got time markers on here.
Okay, gotcha.
I bleep the big words.
Gotcha.
And the 7 that are allowed on primetime television.
Okay, gotcha.
Through, so, but that was Sinestro. Good. I enjoyed it a lot. I really, really do. Another one of those books that I was kind of like, I don't know if he could carry his own, but he's really kind of proven me wrong as far as just being a complete jackass to everyone he meets. But we get to see on the other side his inner monologue, where he's coming from and any doubts he does have, and that kind of paints him more as a more 3D character instead of the 2-dimensional, I'm gonna twirl my pencil-thin mustache and plot against Hal Jordan. Look at me flying through space in my hot air balloon.
80 days, they said it couldn't be done. I will show them.
But that's it. But that's all the books for this week. Literally this week,
yes.
Guys.
And then some.
And then some. Quite a few and then somes, actually. So as a reminder, you guys go out there and buy these books. Support the hobby. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying buy everything. Not saying buy even a majority of it. Just if it sounds interesting to you, pick it up. Give it a read. See, even if it's off your radar, if it's something that you have not really had any intention to read, if any of these stories that we just recapped sound good to you, it's $3. Just, try it out. Because a lot of this stuff is a lot better than we can even make it sound. There's a lot fewer ums and ahs, I can assure you of that, in the titles themselves. Not as much cursing either.
Yeah.
Not as much. No weird sound effects.
Except maybe Lady Tron.
But yeah, make sure you support the hobby, because if you don't buy it, they don't make it, and it goes away. And a lot of these books that we're really enjoying, and I know it sounds greedy that I'm like, hey, buy these books so we can continue to read them. Some of them deserve a little bit more shelf time than I fear they're going to get.
Yes.
And you're going to come back to it 5 years from now, and you're going to read it, and you're like, man, that was really good. Why did it end so quickly? Because no one bought it when it was being printed. That's why. That's why all those trades that everyone says it was really good and they're really short, that's what happened to them.
Yep. Our Demon Knights book club that contacts us every couple months.
Hey guys, Etrigan's over here. Hey guys.
Vandal Savage was hilarious. Like, we know. We
know. But next week, we got more books. We're going to pick up the following week's books and then backtrack a little bit, and then try to sprinkle in little pizzazz as far as the December
the things that
minis
we
may
missed.
have ended.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll do that the following week as well to wrap that up. And
you can wrap up your Superman and your Justice League crossovers and whatnot.
Exactly. And then we'll be fully caught up here. So we're basically in the present day moving forward, and then we'll backfill stuff as needed or as it is referenced or anything like that. We're not abandoning it. We've read it all. We're just trying to split it up into manageable chunks here at the moment. So if you do want to contact us, Brian, tell them how to do so.
You can use the internet.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah,
I heard they fixed it.
We're DCR Podcast.
Yes.
On just about everything.
Everything. Just about, yeah. I fixed the website, kind of.
Oh, really?
It's just a forwarder. I haven't forwarded over to the other website right now.
Fine.
So until the actual back end is done. Almost there.
Yeah.
We'll get there. Have to maybe rebrand it again. Rumors are to be believed.
Yeah, well.
So I'm kind of holding off at the moment until I find out exactly what's going on so that I can maybe...
Yeah, it's funny. Sean already told me I'm more than welcome to the Man of Steel series if it happens.
Yes. You'll love it. You'll love it. So,
why is everything brown?
We're mostly on the Facebooks and the Twitters, and you can find us there if you want to hassle us.
Tumblr for me.
Yes, Tumblr for all the images that Brian goes and finds that he enjoys. So, I guess that's it. Do you have anything before we take off? Or?
You know what? I've got some things that I've been meaning to say.
Oh, God.
Yes. Well, it's the musical episode, and so I was reminded. Back when we were missing a bunch of weeks, I saw the musical, The Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder.
Yeah.
Which is just a bunch of people in like beautiful Downton Abbey costumes running around with the silliest British accents you can possibly imagine, having this
Whoa. You're saying the silliest British accent?
The silliest British accents humanly possible, having some kind of Looney Tunes / Clue style like murder romp.
Yeah.
It
Sounds
was
pretty good.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun. So if it's coming to your town and that sounds like it's up your alley, like it's up mine, give it a shot. It's pretty good.
Man, you're reaching on this whole related topics at the end that you may want to talk about.
No, I thought this was just stuff that we like that we want people to know about.
I try to keep it at least somewhat related.
You're recommending video games. I mean,
video games are somewhat related. I was recommending a video game by the same company that is making the Batman video game coming out later this year.
Gotcha. Yeah. And just as a separate thing entirely for me, since we're continuing with musical stuff, I am not recommending the television program Gallivant. In no way am I recommending the program Gallivant.
Wait, are you being sarcastic?
But I am recommending Timothy Omenson playing King Richard on Gallivant.
Yes.
It is the best thing ever. He got a dragon named Tad Cooper in the last episode.
I'm
my
still
God.
on season 1. I've watched like 3 episodes. It was
my God.
I see where they're going with this, and then I'll come back to it later when I have time.
But he was my favorite character on Psych, and just being able to see him continue on regular network television.
Is the King's Guard still there?
Oh yeah, all the characters are there. They just jumbled them up in different ways.
Okay,
and I would say the second season
the
is
guy
probably
from Snatch that was actually a prison guard before his movie career.
Yes. Yeah, everyone's got new roles, and they're all like teamed up in different ways, as you do to keep everything fresh. And it's actually being handled quite well. But again, there's parts where I can't there's certainly parts of the show where I'm just like, I'm not sure if I could recommend this to everyone, but I can recommend
just those scenes. Is there like
Timothy
a super
Omenson
cut on YouTube somewhere?
I'm sure there will be eventually.
All right. Well, you used up all of our recommendation time. So I'm going to say eat. I recommend eating at some point today. You should do that.
Oh, you haven't eaten yet today?
Well, no, I've eaten. I'm just recommending to other people that they also should eat something today.
Should they sing and dance?
No.
Okay.
Avoid the dance magic.
Fair enough.
Yes. Apparently it doesn't work out too well.
Man, now I want Vibe to meet Constantine specifically for a magic dance.
Pop and lock. Womp, womp, womp.
I can't stop popping or locking. No!
Yeah, I was going to ask you if Thrum had his cousin Wub Wub and stuff like that. All right, well, let's wrap it up. Everyone, enjoy your books, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives, and we're going to talk to you next week.